Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Women Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so how are all of my royalty doing? Because get something petty to drink, some petty snacks, because we're gonna spill and go through everything. But yeah, this is gonna be a a chat about a little politics and a little disability, but dating nightmares. And I think one reason with the fall coming, because it's right around the corner. I think we're like a week and a half away. But yeah, so all my summer birthday buddies, yeah, farewell. Now it's time for fall and beautiful leaves, and the temperature is just kind of like you can go on those nice long walks. And but if you got a boo or whatever, I'm single and I'm tired of being like, whoo. Like nowadays, it's like men keep wondering why they are single, but then they won't look in the mirror. And it's like they won't look at their own reflection. They blame women. And then we have people like Andrew Tate and all of these absolutely terrible men who, while growing up, basically fictionalized, oh well, my dad cheated, but men should be able to cheat, women should just forgive them. And oh, my dad did, like, a lot of the awful terrible things their fathers did, they internally turned it into, if I he has to be a hero, so that means in order to be a hero I need to treat my woman like dirt. That's what I have kind of caught on with a lot of these Republican leaning dating gurus, and even some of the religious dating gurus. Some of the things that they say, and is then they contradict the Bible, or you find out they're doing anything and everything, but they say, oh, but forgiveness, but like, look at this, and oh, but she was doing me wrong, or because she wouldn't sleep with me. And it's like, just their ego is so big. And again, they don't want to be seen as a villain. And looking at the reality, who does? Who wants to be seen as a villain? It's like and I don't, people are so scared to look at the reflection, because that's why with a lot of the episodes, I try to make it clear. I know I'm not perfect. I am bullheaded. I am stubborn. I am just, but at the same time, it's like I'm not as gullible as I used to be, and or naive, or, well, I don't know. It's like I think I was gullible because I had hope in everybody. I trusted everybody because I just thought, why would you want to be a liar? Why would you want to be a cheater? Why would you want to make other people's lives miserable? But then I met MAGA. Then I met Republicans and conservatives. Okay, and that only hurt if I'm talking about you. If you're a conservative or Republican, that only hurt if I'm talking about you. Because, if you've been watching, you already know the type of Republicans that I can at least have a talk with. I'll never date, but I can actually talk with. Because, there's not that many, but there are a few. But okay. It's like I've been writing my novel more, and also with the greeting cards, it's like even having certain type of cards that you, it's like they're probably out there. It's like I know I'm not just a genius to come up with some of my ideas, but there are a few lines or a few catalogs of my cards that I'm creating that you don't really see at Walmart. Or not Walmart. Why did I say Walmart? I have no idea. I have no idea why I said that. But Hallmark. Hallmark. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I know my stores. Hallmark, the beautiful little crown and everything like that. But oh, and I know why with Walmart. Yeah, okay. I kind of know now why. But anyway. Oh, it's like sometimes when it, I don't know, it's just like I keep pausing because I'm just like, which example should I start with first? Because I have so many. Because especially when it can't come to, you know what, Mr. No Heart, I will start off with Mr. No Heart because he, in my mind, literally has no heart. It's like if you guys have been listening, I have over 400 episodes, and I've been doing all the story times and talking about these relationships and everything. But Mr. No Heart is the one that I dated for literally about 7 years, and it's like looking at his family, because he always said that he wasn't Republican or conservative, and he even said his family members were stupid because they were conservative Republicans. But then at the same time, you know, look, if you can't take, okay, if you're dating somebody and you guys are on two different political platforms or whatever, don't allow the family members to politically jump your, like, the person you're dating. Okay, because if you guys have been listening to my episodes, you already know, like, my ex's family, they couldn't wait to do that. Sometimes I feel like that's the only reason they wanted me over. And the thing is, I didn't want, there were like, I didn't want to go to his house. I didn't, or not his, like his family's house. And that's only one, like, yeah, the over 40 or 50 reasons why I broke up with Mr. No Heart. I'm going to do episode 3 or 4 one day, but yeah, politics have been just crazy and life has just been upside down. But like one of the episodes will be about how he didn't protect me at all. Sometimes I feel like he, out of entertainment, he loved for me to be uncomfortable. He loved to put me in awful situations on purpose. He did not care if I was safe, secure, or comfortable at all because, and with going up north, I didn't want to. I didn't want to see his mom or his family members because of their political views and their racism. These, and okay, I have to say, in my opinion, I have to say it. But when you tell people that the only reason they got certain jobs or education or anything like that is because they're black, and sometimes, like, I think over the years after breaking up, I've kind of come to the realization that she was probably jealous because her kids, or I mean, her youngest daughter finished certifications, but I know my ex, her son, dropped out of college. And he, like, I don't know, like, for his ego's sake, like, when it comes to villains and everything, he can't be the villain. It can't be his fault. So he always blamed it on the professors. And I know professors are not, like, perfect and things like that. And that's one reason why, like, when I teach my classes, I have surveys, I have things where students can, oh, and students spill the tea. Sometimes it's like they're telling me things that are outside of the classroom that I did not know. And that helps me know what, like, when it, because I, with giving group projects, my students don't get the same grade in the group, especially when one student is threatening his group members that if they don't do the project or if they snitch and tell me or whatever, he knows where they live and stuff like that. Yeah, go back to that episode. Yeah, and yeah, because when students provide me the proof and the evidence and the emails and everything like that, so then I, yeah, let's just say I took care of that. But yeah, it's like you don't want to be the villain, and so you're gonna twist and turn the words and everything around to make sure. So he always made it as though, oh, it's the professor's fault. It was the professor's fault. How many classes did you like? How many professors are that evil or unfair or unjust or not able to describe things clearly? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, yeah, I changed my major a couple times, but that's like, I don't know. I don't think I've told those story times. So one day I will, because, yeah, I need to tell the story about why I never went to any of my college graduations and how emotionally, yeah, I need to talk about that once I get a therapist, because yeah, I will be getting a therapist once I'm so close to being able to, oh, I'm so excited. But anyway, it's like it's like I've mentioned in other episodes, but it's a surprise and I'm so excited. I will do a live. You do not understand. I'm going to do a live when I have this, to like the celebration event and everything like that. But it's just, yeah, because I had to change my major a couple times because of, one, my parents telling me I better not major in English or they're gonna throw me out the house, or they didn't want anything to do with me. Literally, my mother said she didn't want anything to do with me if I majored in English. And so and my mother also said, if you want to be worth anything, you better be a veterinarian. And yes, one time she said, you better be. She said that if you ever want to, like, even measure up to your twin sister and all types of things, all of the emotional ABUSC and everything like that. So it's like having that on, like, anyway, it's like it's off topic, but it's on topic because when my ex's mom had the nerve to say the only reason I got through college is because I'm black, she has no idea the struggle. She has no idea the heartache. She has no idea the pain that I actually had to go through in order to finish college, and how tough it was, and the struggle of figuring out what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? Because I can't do what I think I'm meant to do because, yeah, and so it was just so confusing and frustrating and heartbreaking to the point where, but looking in the mirror, I wonder if it was on the flip side, because like I've said, I invited this man over to this house at over 8 times. It's like, because I say eight because I know specifically of those 8 times, but I know it was probably more like 20. But it's like some of them I'm like, how, like, because with some of the times that I invited him, it's like he already rejected me so many times or said no so many times or just didn't come over so many times, to the point where I it's like I kind of gave the invite, but there was no excitement in it. There was no, like, because I knew he was just going to dismiss it again. And so now I kind of wonder, because I mean, he might be with, I hope he found somebody, you know? I hope he found someone that he thought is worth going to meet their family. Because again, like sometimes I'm just like, is it because I'm black? And that's why it's like, because like his family members are, a lot of them, flat out racist. The awful stereotypes and the things they said. But then even he sometimes talked about grape soda and some jokes about the people across the street, or like, cause, and that's the thing. He sur- he lives in a city where he's surrounded by black people, and his neighbors, black people, the neighbors that would help him when, if something like with the vehicle they need to lift or do something, whatever, it was the black neighbors that had his back. And it's like when I would get into the driveway, and sometimes like it's like when I go grocery shopping for myself, or especially for my, like, I would go to the dollar store to pick up supplies for my students and sometimes snacks, whatever. And so sometimes I would grab a couple things for him too, especially like the weekend, like feeding him and the girls or whatever. And the neighbor would, like, some of the neighbors across the street would see me open the trunk, or they're like, oh, I can help you with that. Oh, I got, like, oh no, we'll help you, honey. And it was like, it was always the African American neighbors that would come up and help. It's like, oh, it's like, oh no, they're near the end. It's like right. It's like, I think, I forgot when they moved in. I think it was the summertime, but it was the summer 2019. There was a white family that moved in one of the houses across the street, and they had one of the sweetest boys. And this is when my walking was terrible. I was in so much pain. It, like, when I had to get out the car, sometimes it would take me 5 to 10 minutes because I had to brace for the pain. That's how bad it was. And I remember the little boy would come up from across the street and he was like, "Do you need help?" And he would kind of have his arm out ready to, like walk me or walk with, and it's like, I would be like, "No, I've got it. it's like, I guess he could tell I was in pain, or I don't know. It was just, but it's like I remember like he would walk with me and talk with me until I got to the door. And one time he was like, "You're really pretty," and he would run, and oh, he was just so sweet. And it's like I wanted to go across the street and introduce myself to them, but it's like I never got to do that. But and now that we've broken up, and I don't know if they still live there, but it's like I do have to say their son is so sweet. And it's like I kind of hope, well, I hope at least maybe the youngest daughter became friends with him. It's like but yeah, they were really, he was such a sweetheart. But anyway, sorry, it's just like sometimes I feel like if and when I can throw out compliments and think, especially when it comes to parenting, when I see a good kid, I want to make sure I say that. But anyway, it's like with my ex and everything, he doesn't understand the racism because this is the same man who would brag that he never had to learn anything about African American history, and that at his school they never had to celebrate African American month. And he would brag that there were no black people. He said there were three people from the islands, I think they were same family or whatever, but three in the entire school, K through 12. And he was just like, yeah, it was cool. It was like, but he would, and I don't know, just really frustrating because, and you know what, I can do so many topics. I can do so many episodes on this topic and everything because, okay, if he could look in the mirror, especially when it comes to the race part, the racism and everything, if my parents like treated him like, okay, if we were all having dinner and after dinner, it's like I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna head out, and like I don't smoke or whatever. Like he always blamed it on either his drinking or his, like puff or whatever. And so anyway, hmm, it's like, so yeah, what would I be doing? I guess minding my own business. I don't know, but anyway, it's like if I stepped out and left him there, but I know when I leave out, my family members are just gonna line up and start talking about Black history and what he doesn't know. And how do you not know this? It's like, why do you think this way? That's not right. And oh, you're not. I was like, oh, and oh yeah, he's an atheist. So it's like they would probably take out those Bibles so quick and talk about Democrat up views and things. And oh, it's like, yeah, so it would be really interesting if my family members treated him the way his family, or he allowed his family to treat me, because it's like when I would be able to defend myself politically and I had the stats, I had the information and things like that, they would get frustrated to the point where he told me I was not allowed to talk politics with them. And I'm like, well, they're the ones that come up to me and they're the ones that try to show me articles and stuff from Fox News and all the stupid mess. And he was just like, well, maybe you just need to like chill and just absorb it or listen to it. And excuse me, I was like, I'm not listening to stupid. I'm not listening to stupid. No. And it's like your mother's the one that's telling me, you need to listen to Candace Owens. She's going to teach you some things because there's no more racism. Yeah, you want me to listen to that garbage? That stupidity? I'm supposed to listen to somebody who is that stupid and naive and ignorant? But yeah, but then she's going to tell me that everything I have fought for and done and worked hard on is only because I'm black? That's who you want me to listen to? So I just kind of wonder if the tables were turned and he was at my family. Like, and I wonder, maybe is that why he refused to go to my family's house? Because he was scared that my family was going to treat him the way that he allowed his family to treat me. I think, yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's just like that kind of just started, you know, like coming to mind over the last few days, especially like while writing some of my novels and like in some of the poems and everything. It's like part of me just wondered. I wonder, it's like, and but then I also wonder, okay, this is gonna be a little like Grim Reaper, which, oh my gosh, I want to like, okay, it's like I want to talk more about that series, but oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, because I've been thinking more and more about all of the times I asked this man to go to my mom's funeral. I was in tears and I was crying. Even the day or the night she died, I remember just being in tears and just crying. And if you've been listening to the episodes, you already know I had an absolutely awful relationship with her. I can't say, like, she has done amazing things for me, or she had done. Yeah, she had done. And she encouraged me to get, my education, kind of, but also, yeah, gaslighting, yeah. But it's like when it came to education, that was important to the family. When it came to like certain views and things like that, it's like she was the one that kind of had, well, I don't know, it's complicated, but I wonder when his mother passes away. Because again, I begged this man and I told him I needed him. And I told him that, especially when we started dating, I was invited. We were invited to birthday barbecues and hangouts and events, and he would always tell me no. And so then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go by myself because I want to go to the event and stuff. And he was like, you think they're more important than me? And it was to the point where I lost. And at the same time, over time, I realized they weren't really my friends because I was always checking up on them. I was always going to their events. I was always cheering them on. It's like, and I started realizing it's like that's where the naiveness comes from. Because I always felt like if I'm your cheerleader, it's like, even like once you trust me, you'll cheer me on too. But then I realized, no, that's not always the case. Some people, especially because when it came to my masters, a lot of the people that I thought were my friends weren't really my friends because they were cheering me on to drop out, cheering me on to quit, cheering me on to fail and things like that. And I didn't know that until let's just say gossip got around and everything like that. But then even with my ex, he hated that I have 3 degrees or whatever. And it's like he would even say, it's not that big of a deal. Anyone can do it. And I will never forget the night still when he said that, then anyone can do it or whatever. But then his oldest daughter, oh, she has a smart mouth. She was like, well, you dropped out. Like, oh no, actually, this happened 2 or 3 times when I got the adjunct professor position. And then when we were talking about something, but it was something with degrees, whatever. But that specific night, she was just like, well, you dropped out, didn't you? And she walked right out. And I just remember, like, I had to hide my face because I was like, oh, oh, that's your daughter. She's not even mine. She's not even mine. She had my back and she's your daughter. Ooh, ooh, that hurt a little. Like, I was like, that was like that helped me, but that hurt a little bit too. But anyway, It's like, and I think that's one reason why now I'm I'm highly guarded. And that's like one reason why some men in the dating world they don't like me is because I'm not spilling all of my tea. I'm not like, and it's really funny because there was one guy that I ended up a couple weeks ago. We matched and we started talking and everything. And at first I said, I'm working on projects, and we were talking for a few days. So it's like each time I would be like, yeah, I'm writing this, but I'm researching this and I'm recording this. Like, but since he doesn't know what I'm working on, he got smart with me and put me down or told me that I need just finish one thing. And I'm like, excuse me? It's like, but the way, like, I have the screenshots, don't worry. Oh, and it's still on my phone anyway. But yeah, it's like, but he reminded me of my ex because every time I went to work on something or whatever, either he would say, I could come up with something better. I was like, why are you doing that? No one's going to listen to you. No one's going to pay attention to you. No one really cares. And it was like, and then when it came to my, well, so called friends that I was, being a cheerleader for, going to the, like, I used to go to their barbecues until I met him, but then he kept gaslighting me, telling me, oh, so if you go to their party, then that means you're going to think they're more important than me. But it's like the first time I didn't care. I went with another gentleman because remember back in the, like, if you've been listening, then you already know that we weren't dating. Like, we were getting to know each other, but we weren't like officially dating or whatever. And there was another guy who kept telling me he was interested in me or whatever. I'll tell that whole story. I'll just call him Z. But oh my gosh, his mom was hilarious. Like, I adore his mom still. Yeah, it's like if I can ever somewhere, I think I still have their address. If she still lives there, I would love to just like drop a greeting card off and just say how she was a pleasure to at least get to know a little bit or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna spell that tea soon. But back to, like, I went to one of the birthday parties with Z, and it's like I remember the dress that I wore or whatever. And but I was at my ex's house because we were spending the day, like, playing video game. He was playing video games, and I was working on one of my projects on my laptop or whatever. But it was kind of a safe space away from my mother because, yeah, if you already know, you already know. If you don't, go catch up on the episodes. But I remember when it was time for me to get ready, and but I needed help getting it zipped up. It's like I will never forget his face when he saw me. I mean, he tried to pick on me when I was putting on my makeup though, but it's like even like when I was red, like the way he was looking at me, and it. But I, if you've been listening to the episodes too, it's crazy because he never wanted me to look like that again. Every time I would get a compliment in public, he would ignore me for the rest of the day. And or he would say, like, you're trying to get this attention, you love this attention, you want this attention, it's like you think these men are more important than me and all this other stuff, to the point where I stopped trying. I didn't care what I wore, I didn't care how I looked, I didn't care anymore, because as long as I didn't get attention from anyone else, he felt secure, and I wanted him to feel secure. And I devalued myself, and I didn't care, like, and my self-esteem was already gone. I hated myself because of my walking and my undiagnosed disability. I hated myself. And he just allowed me to hate myself more. But yeah, this is going to be a part two because I have so much more to say on this. But I just wonder, how would he feel if if the mirror look now is looking at him? I wonder if someone had done the same things. But anyways, okay, I'm going to have to. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.